When I was on holiday in Portugal last year, I felt a lump, or a few. And so as soon as I went back to Sydney, that was in May 2016, last year, I had a check. And this is after having annual checks with the mammogram. And they found that I did have early breast cancer. There's a sense of urgency that was given to me by the oncologist. And I, of course, was totally unprepared. Didn't do any research, didn't even think this was going to happen. So straight away, there was one oncologist wanted to do chemo straight away, and the whole 9 yards. And I said, no, hold on, I just want to choose who I want. And at that stage, there wasn't really much of a choice that, you just go and do chemo and whatever. So I said, no, I wanted to, whatever there was there, I wanted it out first. So I chose a surgeon who was very happy to listen to me, to see exactly what I wanted to do. And so I had a lumpectomy. And as soon as I was healed from that, I started chemo for quite a few months. And then straight away after that, radiotherapy. And all the way through, I had immunotherapy, Herceptin. Now, what was my whole strategy in this whole thing? Would I just, retreat to my bedroom and cry and be a mess? No, because what I had been asked to do by my university, I'm in a graduate school of management, Macquarie Graduate School in Sydney. I had been asked to be the dean. And that was just before I had left for Portugal. So when I came back and I thought, what was I going to do? So rather than feel sorry for myself or distressed or confused, I said, no, I'll just go on and I'll continue this job as long as I could. And some people might have thought, hey, you know what, I should have just given up, gone to a long holiday, sick leave. A couple of my colleagues at work had been had cancer, and they had taken half the year off. And in my case, my school was in a state of transition. There was a lot of healing that had to be done for a lot of people they were quite disenfranchised with the last dean. And so I thought, no, I've got some work to do. And so when I look at that, looking backwards to what was happening, that gave me a very positive outlook. And so I just went on with the job. I did not tell anyone at work. It was a big university, except for 5 people. One was the president of the university. Of course, he had to know about it. And the other one was his deputy. And he was quite shocked. And he said, whenever you want to take off or take some leave, just let me know. But he seemed to have a lot of confidence in me, which was, again, very uplifting. And so, of course, going through chemo, there was this first week each time that you felt like you're dying, and then you feel the clouds lifting, and then, hey, you know what? I've got a job to do. So that was really, it's quite good. And, looking back, it really wasn't all that bad. Of course, I was just my immunity was just shot. And I could not travel because this is a job where you have to travel, and I couldn't travel for about 6 months. And I still had to meet people. I still had to do all the public relations, and I did it and timed myself so that I could do it in my good times. But I was doing mostly the right thing, having a very positive view, really occupying myself, that sort of reduced my stress level quite a bit, just being able to divert my attention. And the other big thing that I did was paleo. And, I'm not advocating it for everyone, but for me, it really worked well. Just making sure I didn't take the grains, didn't take the dairy, no sugar. And it's just a way of life now. And I feel really very well for that. Lost a bit of weight, and so that was good. Exercise was something that my doctors were telling me that I really had to do. Even when I really felt like death, they said, hey, get up, go for exercise. And this helped. The support group I had, my friends, my daughter, who lives quite close by, she used to come over and she used to cook paleo for me, nice food. And so whenever I did feel like eating, I knew I was safe. And she used to take me out for walks so that if I ever were to fall anywhere, I'd be okay. So that was really good. Prayer. Prayer was something that I come from a very multi-racial, multi-religious background. I was born in Singapore. My extended family, we've got about 30 different religions. And so when prayer came around, that was quite easy because I could pray as a Christian does. I could pray as a Buddhist. And I think I was sort of handling it on a number of different sides. So that was really quite good, and that really, really worked well. What I still need to do, rest. I really need to up my rest and up my sleep. So I think it's going to be really good from now on. I've got a pill that I have to take every day, but after going and listening on the alternatives, I think what I'd like to do is to follow up the contacts with a number of people to see what I can do in terms of alternatives, juicing, fasting, a number of other ways, and I think that's very, very encouraging. One of my friends who lives in the US, he just without, I think he knew about my cancer, and this is only a few months ago, he said, hey, have a look at this website. It was just a website and the videos. And through that, of course, I got to know, got to be more familiar with some of the doctors and the practitioners. And what most of them were saying did make a lot of sense. And I said, hey, this is a different way of looking at treatments, at preventions. Some of them confirmed what I was doing was correct. Some of them were saying, hey, you don't have to be totally against chemo, but what are the different complementarities that you can have? What could work together to make it less of a difficult, like an impact on your body. So that works. And then through that website, I saw the adverts for the next event. And I said, hey, you know what? That sounds good. One never knows what will happen in the future. One never knows if somebody close to me or one of my friends needs to have help. I don't want them to go through some urgency again. I don't want to have to do that again. And anything that I decide to do, I want to do it based on research, based on intelligent work that I see other people doing. And I don't want to rush into this. And I just feel so much confidence in this.